Kung hindi lang ako gipit, or kung well off naman ako, magpipinta lang ako ng magpipinta. May mga feedback sila na simula nung makuha nila yung painting, may mga dumadating na blessing. Parang ako yung medium nila, connection ba nila. Hindi ko nakakilala yun, hindi ko siya personal nakakilala, pero nandun yung tiwala nila, so nakakataba ng puso lang. Pag nagpipinta kasi ako, minsan nga mahirap i-let go. Kasi parang part ko binigay doon. So parang anak ko na, parang babies ko na rin. Tapos ipapaalaga ko muna, ganyan. Pero may attachment din ako. May attachment lahat ng paintings.
It's almost noon, and 31-year-old Marjorie Pasqua is preparing lunch in her little house in Mangatarem, Pangasinan.
Ang cute yan. Parang ears. Mickey Mouse.
The day has just begun for her and her 11-year-old son, Harry.
Anong gusto mo? Pili ka. Pili ka, dali.
Harry's godmother, Christine Jacobo, sits down beside him to eat.
Okay.
It's been a month since Tin started helping Marjorie in caring for Harry. She needs all the assistance she can get.
Huwain mo kung kagad.
Since Harry was born, Marjorie had to work for a living and look after her son on her own. Marjorie became a single mother when she was in junior college. Harry was the fruit of a high school romance that bloomed and withered too soon.
First boyfriend ko siya. Nung 6th year namin, parang on the rocks na kami. Tapos nalaman ko na may parang aligid-aligid na girl. So yun, may third party. Sabi naman niya, hindi naman siya mahal ng girl. So, feeling ko, mababawi ko pa siya. So, feeling ko, pag nagkaanak kami, magbabago siya.
But even Harry's birth was not enough to keep her and her boyfriend together.
Siya pa yung mismo nagsabi na okay lang na hindi na niya makita yung bata. Kasi, hindi niya kayang iwan yung girl.
It was all Marjorie could do but make the most out of her situation. It seemed that fate had a couple more punches to throw at Marjorie, even after a turbulent pregnancy.
Yung mga ilang buwan na niya, napaka-slow ng physical improvement niya. Hindi niya ma-lift yung head niya. Nung nagkasakit siya, dila namin siya sa clinic. Doon na-confirm na Down syndrome nga.
It was hard news to Tim. Marjorie's first thoughts were all for Harry.
Nalungkot, hindi dahil Down syndrome may Down syndrome yung anak ko. Yung mas nag-worry ako na, kasi lalo dito sa Pilipinas, diba? Iba yung concept nila sa ganong kondisyon. Baka kutsain, paano pag nawala ako? Sinong gagabay sa kanya? Sinong magpoprotekta?
Though she sees Harry as her greatest blessing in life, she admits that caring for a child with special needs is no easy task.
Kasi may sarili siyang mga gestures, may mga na may ibig sabihin. Kunyari, pag-iinom, o kaya pag magbabanyo, may mga routine na kami, may mga senyas-senyas na kami. Since hindi nga siya nakakapagsalita. Yung mga senyas na yun, siya nagbibigay galing sa kanya.
Despite the challenges in his development, Marjorie makes sure Harry gets the normal childhood that he deserves. Just 2 years ago, she enrolled him at a special education center in a local public school.
Wait lang.
Marjorie and Tim drive Harry to school, making their way precariously through streets in a little scooter. Marjorie sees to it that Harry never misses classes.
Pinapakita ko talaga na kaya nila, hindi sila disabled. Differently abled lang sila. In other way lang nila mamimit yung isang bagay na gawin. Pero hindi, it doesn't mean na hindi nila kaya. Kaya nila. Superman ka? Superman si Eric? Wow!
It takes a while for Harry's classmates to arrive.
Wait mo ako. Ha? Okay. Thank you.
Marjorie busies herself by touching up the mural she painted outside Harry's room.
Nung brigada, wala naman ako may do-donate. Ito na lang. Free labor. Labor of love.
This mural is all that Marjorie can give back to the school that has offered Harry free education. Marjorie gets by selling the paintings that she makes. It's the only source of income she knows that will not keep her from being with her son. Painting day in and day out, Marjorie still remembers how making art was only a distant dream for her as a child. Today, Marjorie is assigned as the parent of the day in Harry's SPED class. With simple lines and shapes, she guides them in making the same drawing she started out as a child.
Naalala ko kinder ako, nagdo-drawing na ako. Pero yung normal lang na drawing, parang skeleton, parang stickman pa nga yata yung mga drawings ko nun.
Today, Marjorie is assigned as the parent of the day in Harry's SPED class. Every week, a parent of one of the students gets to spend time with the class. As Harry's classmates arrive, Marjorie begins to prepare their activity for the day. Marjorie makes sure that Harry constantly has his mother's presence in his everyday life, something she never experienced as a daughter.
Nung lumaki ako sa lola at lola ko, sa paternal side. Si mama kasi ever since sa Manila na siya nagtatrabaho. Kaya kapag dumadalo siya, maximize talaga yung oras na magkasama kami.
By participating in Harry's learning, Marjorie makes sure she never misses out on her son's life.
Lahat sa orange.
She teaches art to Harry and his classmates. With simple lines and shapes, she guides them in making the same drawing she started out with as a child.
Naalala ko kinder ako, nagdo-drawing na ako. Pero yung normal lang na drawing, parang skeleton, parang stickman pa nga yata yung mga drawings ko nun. Bahay, ganun. Nag-start akong makipag-compete. Grade 6 na ako. Heart?
Looking over what Harry accomplishes on his finger painting, Marjorie remembers how art was also her and her mother's connection as a young girl.
Binibida ko sa mama ko yun, may time pa na umuwi siya, may competition ako na may dala siyang bagong T-square na maliit, tapos bagong crayons. So, ako naman, inspired ako makipag-compete kasi nga, bago yung gamit ko. Mayabang lang. Tuwan-tuwa kasi galing kay mama.
But these were the only instances that Marjorie ever got to make memories with her mother. It was only when Harry came along that Marjorie got to spend more time with her own mother. Without Harry's father to raise him with Marjorie, her mother took it upon herself to be the second parent to her grandchild.
Doon ko siya mas full time na nakasama, no. Inaalagaan na rin niya si Harry. Nag-rent ako ng tapos 3 kami sa bahay.
Usual routine ni Hair pagkatapos mag-school. Makikinood. Kasi walang cable sa amin.
Having her mother by her side, it seemed as if a weight was lifted for Marjorie. Routine was established, and finally, she was not lost anymore. It was then that she fully saw the extent a mother's love can go.
Mas madalas siya ang gigising, tapos siyang magpapalit ng diaper, ganyan. Imbes na ako dapat ang magpapalit or ako magpapaligo since nandun naman na ako.
To Marjorie, it was her mother's way of making up for the time she never had for her in her youth.
Feeling ko, ako na rin yung nilalove niya ng sobra-sobra din. Pag nakikita kong ganun, na nagbabounce back din sa akin. Parang napupunan lahat, nabubura lahat ng time na hindi ko siya nakasama. Mas, sabi ko nga kahit na maghirap, basta kasama ko sila, okay lang. Okay na. Okay na ako.
Good boy ka dito Magdi-deliver lang ako
With Harry busy watching his afternoon cartoon shows, Marjorie is able to squeeze in some time to ship a painting she has finished to a client today. Since her mother came back to help care for Harry, this is what Marjorie's life has become. A cycle between making and selling paintings and looking out for Harry and her mother.
Sabi ko nga noon, okay lang kahit tumanda akong dalaga. As in, ready na ako. Basta, ang goal ko lang noon, dapat secured yung future nilang dalawa. Si mama, dapat okay yung kalusugan niya, ganyan. Kasi nag-maintenance yun sa high blood tsaka sa diabetes. So, yun ang pinaka-main goal ko noon.
It was simple bliss for Marjorie, who found love surrounding her at last. But even this little slice of heaven was taken from her too soon.
Ay, siyang galawin, baby.
Marjorie and her mother finally had a chance to spend time together, but it did not last long.
Siguro kung hindi ako pumasok, maabutan ko siyang bumulagta. Siguro naisugod ko kagad sa ospital. Parang yun lang din yung iniisip ko that time. Pero pumasok pa rin ako.
It's late in the afternoon, but Marjorie's day is far from ending. She is now in a tutie's house for an art lesson. What Marjorie can offer through art, she tries to turn into a living.
Tinry ko lang, maliit lang. Tapos binenta ko siya. Pinost ko siya sa Facebook. Wala pang 24 hours. Nabenta na siya. Binenta ko lang siya ng 900. Hanggang sa may nakakita, gusto rin ng mother and child na concept. Mas malaki. Nabenta ko ng 1,000. So yun, sunod-sunod na yun. Ha?
Marjorie never meant to make art her sole means of income. It's not the most lucrative of jobs compared to her previous occupation, working in a call center.
Hindi siya fix. Pero masabi ko nakakabenta ko sa isang buwan, makakabenta ko kahit isa. Tsaka may iba pa akong ginagawa. Nag-tutor din ako. 100 pesos per hour. Tapos, nag-mural. Nagpipaint din ako ng shoes, canvas shoes. May kumuha sa akin na mag-face paint dito. For sideline lang.
Marjorie accepts any and every job that lets her get her hands on some paint. Whatever her canvas may be, she is up for it.
Okay.
Today she arrives at a children's party to paint cartoon characters and patterns on kids' faces.
Blessing in disguise, siguro na pinipilit ng tadhana na isegue ako sa arts. Doon lang ako naglakas loob na magpinta. Kasi wala na talaga akong ibang alam. Yun lang. Ayun. So, okay naman. Karaos kami. Na-survive naman yun. Tsaka, blessing na rin kasi nga, kaya ko pala.
Marjorie remembers how her mother supported her as her dream of creating art came true.
Nagpipinta na ako nung kasama ko na siya. Ano yan? Silent fan ko yan. Nababasa ko na lang sa cellphone niya na pinagmamalaki niya yung mga paintings ko. Pero sa akin, hindi niya sinasabi harap-harapan. Pagtatanungin ko na siya, "Ma'am, maganda ba?" Maganda." Ganun lang. Simple lang.
Her mother's quiet presence from when she was a child resonated to when she stood as a second parent to Marjorie's beloved Harry. Marjorie and her mother finally had a chance to spend time together. But it did not last long.
Na-stroke siya. May shift ako nung gabi. Siguro madaling araw nangyari. Siguro kung hindi ako pumasok, maabutan ko siyang bumulagta. Siguro naisugod ko kagad sa ospital. Sa pag-out ko nga ng shift ko, doon ko nakita yung mga text messages ng mga kapitbahay na sinugod nila sa ospital. Nung kinagabihan noon, the next day, bumigay na rin siya.
Everything that inspired Marjorie to create art disappeared with her mother's passing.
Tumigil ako magpinta noon dahil doon. Tumigil ako magpinta. Parang ako nawala ng buhay. Parang nag-start pa nga lang, yun nga, ilang years ko pa lang siya nakakasama ng buo. Kasi nga, dahil kay Harry. Tapos binawi na. Parang hindi ko alam kung anong kulay yung ikukulay ko. Ang hirap sumubok ulit.
But Marjorie knew she had to bounce back.
Siguro after ilang buwan, may umorder sa akin ng painting. Tapos, syempre, kailangan ko din ng extra income para kay Harry. So, sinubukan ko ulit.
Most of the subjects of Marjorie's paintings are mother and child.
In-invite kami ni Sir Omar dito sa Paris house niya. Ayun.
In this restaurant in Pasig, Marjorie's first solo exhibit features some of the best of her work.
Ito, entry ko siya sa vegan. Sabi ko sa nanay, motherly love. At saka, yun, single mom ako, diba? Advocacy na rin na kahit single mom ka, makakaya mo. Pangalawang version na siya.
In the images she has created of mothers cradling their children in their arms, Marjorie's memory of her mother and her love lives on.
Sana, proud siya sa akin kahit paano. Kahit na hindi pa ako nakakapagtapos. Kahit sa part lang na yon, part ng pagpipinta, maging proud siya. Alam ko naman, proud siya kahit paano.
After a week with her work displayed for all to see, it is time to pack up the exhibit. Marjorie, Tin, and Harry head back to Pangasinan. The cycle begins again for Marjorie. With Harry settled down, she sits to work on a painting. With each brushstroke and every detail, Marjorie paints the joys and pains of motherhood.
I am happy pero mas happier kung nandito sila. Pero happy ako. Bottom line is happy ako ngayon. Because of Harry.
And with every finished painting, she tells the story of a mother's unending love for her child.
Iniisip ko, pag nagpipinta ako, nandyan lang siya sa likod. Nanonood lang. So pag hindi ako nagpinta, hindi siya manonood. Yun yung connection namin. Yun na lang yung iniisip ko. So kailangan ko magpinta para nandyan siya.